Unless God moved, I feel like David would, he wasn't going to make it.
He told us that there was really nothing that they could do. Chemo wasn't for that type that he had.
Alrighty, so this is what we're doing. Hopefully we're gonna do a series of Revelation 12:11. It's all about overcoming. I want to do a whole series, constant series of encouraging people to just listen to other people's testimonies. So we will review other people's testimonies. This is so powerful. This is so important. This is like the fellowship that people need. People that are sick, they need to hear testimonies of getting well. People that have cancer, they need to hear testimonies of people of cancer fleeing. People that have diabetes, they need to hear testimonies of diabetes fleeing. People who have anger issues, they need to hear how people got delivered from anger. So that's what I want. That's what I really want to make this whole channel about. Is about people that has a testimony of the power of God in their life. They overcame, and I know a lot of people that. And one of the main reasons, because there's so many people, not just people in the world, but there's so many people in the church that that they just don't. They just don't believe. So as soon as something happens, they're looking for the doctor. They're looking for somebody to rescue them. And all the years of teaching is almost like it goes out the window. All the praying, all the fasting, all the speaking in tongues, all the Wednesday Bible studies and everything, it goes out the window because it wasn't something that was in their belly. And so hopefully we can stir people up to really believe like they should believe. And leaders and pastors that are listening, they can really want to make sure people that are following them really believe they really are overcomers, and not just people that attend a gathering or a church. So listen to this. This is the verse, Revelation 12:11, and they overcame him. Talking about the devil, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. That's three different things. We can just break that down and talk about three different things right there. Overcoming blood of the Lamb, word of their testimony, and did not love their life to the death. And there's so much to talk about, but I'm not going to go into it. So I want this to be about overcoming, being an overcomer, and these beautiful steps of trusting in the Lord and hanging on to your testimony like never before, just believing and fighting the good fight of faith, and not loving your life to the death. It all goes together. So let's look at this first testimony that I saw right here, and I'm going to pause in between and comment.
When you're going to the doctor and you hear nothing encouraging, that's when your faith is going to have to stand.
In November 2020, Geraldine Baker's husband, David, started having constant nosebleeds. Doctors removed a polyp from his sinus cavity, but soon after, things got worse.
When his face began to swell, I thought he's got an infection, and I told him we need to contact the doctor quickly.
The results of a CT scan shocked the family. David's brother-in-law, Chuck Denny, was there.
They told him he had stage 4 nasal cavity melanoma. The options they gave him, they said surgery wasn't an option because the facial disfigurement would be too massive.
They told us that there was really nothing that they could do. Chemo wasn't for that type that he had.
I'd never seen anybody healed of cancer. Every time I heard the word cancer, it was a death sentence. And
so you hear what he just said? He never heard anybody healed of cancer. I know people out there right now, they're listening, and some of us, we heard of testimonies of people being healed of cancer. All right, so we have to hang on to that testimony. And there's other people out there who they're probably saying, yep, I'm right down that alley. Exactly what he said. I never heard anybody get healed of cancer. So this is so important why we need to run these testimonies and watch things like this that encourages us instead of watching things that discourages us.
I feel like unless God moved, I feel like David would, he wasn't going to make it.
My first thought was in my teaching is that we need to move into a fast and seek God heal him.
David's face rapidly swelled to the point where he couldn't eat or see out of his right eye. Pastor Mark Gilbert remembers the many prayers from multiple church locations and beyond.
Both church families was praying for David, and there was a multitude of other people. It wasn't just our churches. David used to be a pastor himself, so there's a lot of people that he knows that was praying for him in different areas of the country, just believing God for the turnaround in his life.
Several times a day, we would pray together. And there was times that you felt like you were just lost for words. You felt like that you were only repeating yourself because you were worn out. You were worn down from this sickness.
His condition just kept getting worse. But
we know people like that. Of course, that came upon me before of thinking like, man, just give up, throw in the towel. I believe for myself, I never had any like diseases like extreme like this, I guess I would say. So I can't speak for anyone, but I only can speak from my experience. But what I can speak from is from the Spirit of God. All of us can speak from the Spirit of God and tell someone to keep on believing, keep on fighting, and stay around people that's going to encourage you to keep on fighting. All right.
the prayers at that point, we didn't see much.
This was swelling inside of his mouth as fast as it was on the outside. And he couldn't hardly eat. It was just terrible. And we knew that we were facing a horrible storm in life.
On Easter morning, Dr. Tom Renfro and his wife Sid were visiting their church for a special prayer service. Remembering her husband's own miraculous healing from cancer, Sid was moved with compassion to pray for David.
When I prayed for David, I don't touch people's head. I normally just touch their shoulders, but I did touch his face because I wanted to be very specific and very direct.
I remember standing there and I thought, that's going to come off in her hand, because you could feel such a presence of God's Spirit.
I prayed a prayer that my dad had prayed. By this time tomorrow, this side of your face will look like this side of your face, because that prayer had worked for my dad.
The day after Easter, something amazing happened.
He said, there's a change in my face. Do you see it? I said, I've already seen it.
I looked at my wife and I said, I see a change in my face. She said, I do too, but I was afraid to say anything. So we decided to go eat with her family again. And we said, well, let's just see what they have to say. And they all seen me and they said, that thing's shrinking. And it was just a matter of days, it was gone.
David's tumor vanished, and doctors later confirmed he is now cancer-free. The Bakers are forever thankful to God for answering their prayers.
There's many people that has got a diagnosis like David. And I feel like they saw death. Maybe they prepared for death. But I'd say don't give up.
That's right.
I'd say take his word into your spirit. And I'd say believe it with everything you've got. Because that's what we done.
What I witnessed with David up close and personal with him, I mean, it just boosted my faith. I mean, I know God can do anything, big, little, it don't matter. He can
That's right.
move in anything.
I felt jubilant when I saw the picture and the tumor was gone and he had a normal face.
When I see David now, I think about the benevolence of God, the mercy of God, that God in this state of David's life in his older years, that God has proven his faithfulness to him.
Well, I'm thankful that, what happened, that God healed me. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
I've never doubted what God was capable of doing. I've always believed that he's the healer, that he can heal cancer, he can heal heart attacks, he can heal anything that's affected man. He can take care of it if we'll just believe him and walk in his word and not let doubt and unbelief, because that stops the hand of God.
There's I'll stop it there. Hallelujah. Yeah, I like these type of videos. This is important. This is so important for so many people. I'm telling you, we worship, we read the Bible, we study, and we don't, maybe some of us don't face things like this. So it's like, but it's a test. It's like, you're an overcomer. You're an overcomer. You're building a testimony. When these things come, it's like, no, you don't give in. You don't say, oh, I have cancer. I got this, stage 3, stage 2, stage 4. I got this. You don't give in. You get with the right people, man. Oh my goodness. You text them and you have to have, like these people said they had a whole gang praying for him. They had a whole gang praying for him. A couple churches. But this is what we need. I'm going to be hopefully this, pray for me. I can post testimonies like this. And I think this is something that is going to blow up, because this is what we need. And it's hope. It's hope. It's genuine hope, because man will always fail you at some point. I know people are so used to running to man. We've been conditioned for man to bail us out. Let me not get on that. But I'm telling you, God, he's the great physician. Jesus is the great physician. And so I'm glad to hear this testimony. I'm going to put the link of this video in the description, like I should. And I'm going to keep on searching for things like this. This is good.